Good morning, everyone. My name is Buddy Lewis, and I'm the director of the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. And just a reminder, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office is a division within the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. And I would like to thank, first of all, Nissan Stadium and the Tennessee Titans for hosting today's event. We appreciate the partnership and support that we have with them year-round, and they have been very kind to have water and coffee in the back, so feel free to enjoy during your stay here this morning. I would like to recognize, first of all, those in attendance today that are partners with us and work with us. First of all, the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, the Tennessee Sheriff's Association, the Tennessee Association of Chiefs of Police, the Tennessee District Attorneys General Conference, Metro Nashville Police Department, Franklin Police Department, Vanderbilt University Medical Center, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Cheatham County Sheriff's Office, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Bradley County Sheriff's Office, Cleveland Police Department, Spring Hill Police Department. And if I've left any partner out, I apologize, but y'all are some of the agencies that I have recognized this morning being here. The purpose of today's event is to gather in solidarity to share a common message, and that message is fans don't let fans drive drunk. Speakers today will discuss crash data, safety tips, and enforcement efforts to keep everyone safe during Super Bowl weekend. And not just Super Bowl weekend, but these partners work year-round with us, not just this weekend. Our goal is to spread awareness to prevent drunk driving crashes and keep our communities safe. Today's guest speakers will include a nonprofit organization called the 24/7 Movement, along with members of the Dillard family who inspired the creation of the Dillard's Law that was passed last year. Give you a little background. In 2022, on Christmas night, Brittany and Dustin Dillard, both 33 years of age, were victims of a fatal drunk driving crash in Bradley County. Their three sons, Pryor, Pierce, and Preston, who are here with us today, survived the crash with critical injuries. They were ages 2, 4, and 7. That is what inspired the 24/7 movement, which now works to support local communities and spread awareness for drunk driving prevention. Here today on behalf of the Dillard family are Dustin's parents, Matt and Terry, Dustin's brother, Tanner, and Pryor, Pierce, and Preston to share the story alongside the executive director, Randy Bonner, from the 24/7 movement, who will explain in detail more about the Dillard's Law. Since this tragic event, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and the Tennessee Highway Patrol have partnered with other law enforcement agencies in the area to support and have a memorial sobriety checkpoint in Bradley County to crack down on drunk drivers and ensure the safety of people in the community. On December the 15th, 2023, law enforcement officers checked 412 vehicles, detained 14 of those vehicles, issued citations for numerous violations, and the Bradley County Sheriff's Office made a drunk driving arrest. We will continue to partner with these agencies to help save lives on our roadways. At this time, I would like to introduce the Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, Commissioner Jeff Long.
Thank you, buddy. Good morning, everyone. And let me begin a little bit this morning before we get on topic. Let's not forget to have our thoughts with the Blount County Sheriff's Office. They had a rough night last night. I'm sure you know one of the deputies was killed last night, another one injured. So make sure during the day you think about those officers' families and the officers and the sheriff. On behalf of Governor Bill Lee, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today here for an opportunity for us to try to save lives across the state of Tennessee. I want to thank first responders. We are all in this together. It takes a team of all of us in order to do this, and we thank you for being here to help us do the kickoff campaign this year for the Super Bowl. Let me also say thanks to the Titans organization for allowing us to use this room every year to have our message that we try to get out to the public. Every year we look forward to joining the event and help remind Tennesseans that fans don't let fans drive drunk. You know, it's a shame that we have to have this every year. If the motoring public would use common sense, with all the opportunities that are available now to get alternative rides, to get an alternative way of going home if you have been drinking at all, people need to realize, do not drink and drive. If you do, over the Super Bowl weekend, and the Tennessee Highway Patrol in particular is involved, you are going to jail if you drink and drive. Super Bowl is a weekend that's supposed to be fun, time together with families and friends. However, anytime alcohol is involved, as I said, there should be a plan in place to ensure that everyone gets home. The consequences of drinking and driving are real, and the Dillard family you will hear from can certainly attest to that. We appreciate their strength and their determination to help prevent tragedies from happening to another family across Tennessee. Let's keep them in mind also this weekend. To the public, make the right choice. Never drink and drive. Always find a sober ride home. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you again to the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and the Tennessee Titans for hosting this important event. I'm happy to be here today with our partners from the Bradley County Sheriff's Department and the Cleveland Police Department. DUI enforcement is something that we all place a high priority on within our agency. We want you to have a good time this Super Bowl weekend, and I implore you to be or to designate a sober driver. Last year during the Super Bowl weekend, Tennessee had 17 fatal crashes, killing 21 people. 10 of those crashes involved alcohol. Not driving under the influence is always the right play to call. The penalty for drinking and driving is steep. Thousands of dollars in fees and fines, losing your license, and potentially losing your life. Please, if you choose to drink, do not get behind the wheel. Don't be afraid to let your friends know if they've had too much. Take their keys and call for a ride. After all, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Be a good teammate by reporting unsafe driving behavior to the Tennessee Highway Patrol by calling star 847 on your cell phone. That's star THP. Whether you choose to root for the root for the Chiefs or the 49ers, just plan to tune in for the commercials and Taylor. Have a great time this weekend. Be responsible, buckle up, put your phone down, and keep everyone safe. Thank you.
Greetings, number one, from the Tennessee Sheriff's Association. We were actually in conference last night when the shooting occurred in Blount County. So keep Sheriff Barone and that agency in your prayers. It's tough. You never know what's around the corner in the world we live in today. I'm going to try to be brief. I've wrote out what I need to say because those that know me know I linger if I just say something. So I would keep you here for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, on Christmas Eve evening 2022, tragedy struck Bradley County with a fatal car crash which not only shook the community but profoundly impacted the Dillard family. That evening, I just returned home from the day's Christmas gatherings when I received notification of the crash. I responded to the scene of the crash not knowing just how devastating it would be. As I walked toward the many first responders on the scene, I could tell by the look on their faces. This crash is one that would have an everlasting impact on each of their lives. The selfless instincts of our emergency personnel took over as they managed the scene. I would like to praise the courageous acts of those who responded on that fateful day. Many of those people are here. Many of the people that actually took and got in a car. They done the job, and it's not an easy job. If you were there on the scene that night, we stand up and let people see you. It wasn't until later I discovered a video of a Walker Valley High School football homecoming game. in that video during a halftime presentation. Preston, the oldest of the three boys, participated as crown bearer. As he was introduced, the public address announcer told those in attendance, Preston wants to be a police officer when he grows up. Little did any of us know, sheriff's deputies and other first responders would be a part of saving him and his two younger brothers' lives just 3 short months later. As we gather here today, let us remember Dustin and Brittany, whose lives were stolen by the irresponsible decisions of an intoxicated driver. Simply knowing the risk of impaired driving could have prevented these untimely deaths. Impaired driving comes with serious consequences, as we know, and clearly shows that our choices in life do actually matter. According to the National Highway Safety Administration, every year over 13,000 people are killed as a result of intoxicated drivers. And this can fracture all families connected to these type of crashes. The void left for this crash was not only emotional, but also brought to light the practical difficulties in navigating such situations. In the aftermath of this devastating Christmas Day incident, the Dillard family experienced firsthand the overwhelming challenges that families face when dealing with sudden loss. This includes finding emotional support, practical guidance for navigating painstaking hurdles, and a commitment to fostering a community where prevention becomes practice. In the face of immense grief, the Dillards found the strength to channel their pain into positive change. It was at this moment the seeds of the 24/7 movement were sown. Through the tireless efforts of the Dillard family, the 24/7 movement seeks to provide a comprehensive support network driven to bring awareness about the consequences of impaired driving and the lasting effects left in the wake of such an event. The 24/7 movement is not just an organization. It's a living testament to the power of unity, compassion, and capacity to turn adversity into opportunity for positive change. This nonprofit organization not only serves as a tribute to the lives lost, but also stands as a testament to the power of human spirit. The Dillards, in turning their pain into purpose, exemplify the resilience that defines the Bradley County community as well as the entire state of Tennessee. In closing, as we prepare for Super Bowl 58 festivities, we should all take a moment to reflect on tragic events such as this. It's our responsibility to take care of each other, and especially if we're hosting a Super Bowl party. Remember, fans simply don't let fans drive drunk. Thank you very much.
Hey, good morning. I come here today, I'm kind of wearing two hats. I am here representing TACP, and we've heard about the partnerships that we have with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and THP and all the other partners, and we're very privileged to be a part of this and part of this campaign. Because this weekend is going to be about celebration. It's one of the many weekends you have throughout the year where you celebrate with your family and friends a sporting event. And if you have those plans to do this, also plan to, if you're going to have alcohol served, have plans to make sure that your friends and family get home safe, and that's what it's all about. The second hat that I wear is that I'm a board member with the 24/7 movement. I was asked by Matt to be on the board, and I'll be honest with you, I was not excited about it because, like anybody in law enforcement, these types of tragedies, you experience them way more than you should. And we kind of like to push these things to the back of our mind and not think about them. But I've known this family for 25 years, and my first memories of Dustin was he looked just like this little boy right here, and running around church. That's just like him. The same facial expressions, the same attitude, the same mannerisms, and those are my first memories of Dustin. So watched Dustin grow into a fine young man, a family man, and one thing if he were here today and you ask him what he would like people to know about him, is that he was a Christian and that his faith in God was the most important thing to him next to his family. So, and I think that's the same thing that the Dillard family would want you to know about them, is they would want you to know that about their Christian faith and their walk with God, and that's the only thing that's can explain how they can stand up here courageously in front of people and do the things that they're doing. And just tell a story about Matt. I remember years ago, that was a big softball player, kind of a professional softball player, and he traveled a lot. And I remember him standing up in front of the church and talking about how it pulled time away from his family. And he talked about rededicating his life to God and rededicating his life to his family. And I watched through the years him hold to that promise, the decades, hold that promise. And at Christmas night, when I found out about the crash, that, by the way, was 100% preventable. When I found out about that crash, those words that he said that night at church were just audibly loud, and it made sense to me from God's plan that that's the reason he made that dedication. Brittany, she was my son's 9th grade school teacher. You'll hear from these guys in the 24/7 movement the impact that she's had with her community. And I just want you to know that this family are some of the most courageous people that I've ever met, to stand up here in just a little over a year's time to take this foundation and really change hearts and minds and have a true impact on our community, our state. And we had a board meeting Tuesday, and Randy's the executive director. I told him he probably needed to hold on because I feel like this movement is going to really take off. And the foundation is about choices. So this weekend, when people are celebrating the Super Bowl, what they remember, their choice is going to have consequences. And that consequence is on this board. That consequence is sitting right in here. But this family, if there's a true testament of how they've turned this into a positive direction. And it's my privilege to be on their board. It's my privilege to know this family. And I'm not going to take up any more time because their message is a lot more important than me sitting up here speaking. So thank you.
On behalf of the Dillard family, the 24/7 movement, it's an honor for us to be part of this very important gathering and this message that you're hearing. Thank you to all those that have shared, that have referenced the crash, have referenced the Dillard family. As Director Lewis mentioned earlier, on that Christmas night crash when they were struck by a drunk driver, Brittany and Dustin were killed instantly, and the 3 boys were critically injured. And the 2 oldest were not expected to make it through the first night at the hospital. One flatlined and was revived, and the other one had to have a blood transfusion on the Life Force helicopter on the way to the hospital. By the efforts of the first responders, which we are totally grateful for, and by God's grace, they survived. Surgeries, days, weeks in the hospital, and they are the heroes. And as been mentioned, they are the 2, 4, and 7 of the 24/7 movement, the ages of the time of the crash of the 3 boys. Brittany and Dustin, they shared a deep love for each other. They shared a deep love for God and their faith in Christ. And they shared a deep love for their family. They were loved by the community. They were loved by so many. Dustin had this, he found immense joy just spending time with those 3 boys. He was that kind of a dad. And he was also the kind of guy that when you meet him, when he met you, he never met a stranger. He had this way of just making people feel welcome, this incredibly huge bear hug, and this hearty, full body laugh that just made you feel good about life to be in his presence. Brittany had an unwavering passion for teaching. And she endured herself to her students. She was a 9th grade teacher at Walker Valley High School in Cleveland, Tennessee, and she was loved by all, students, by peers, by the administration. She was the type of teacher that students would go to if they had a problem. If they had something going on in their lives, they would go to Brittany because they trusted her. And they had someone they knew that they could share something in confidence. And Brittany would listen and she would pray with those kids. And we have met countless students since that have shared with us Brittany cared for me stories. It's really been incredible. One of the initiatives that we have started is at Walker Valley High School, and it's called Brittany's Kids. It's a club. It's a month club. In fact, we meet next Thursday. It's all the students that Brittany had at the time of the crash. And we're going to grow that club in the next few years. But we're walking with those students that had her. They were crushed when they lost their favorite teacher. And we're walking with them all the way through graduation of 2026. And we hope that what we start there will start at other high school campuses as well. And they have a voice in the 24/7 movement. They're helping us reach out and message their peers with Choices Matter in life and Choices Matter on the road. Mere days after the crash, Tanner Dillard, who is here with us, Dustin's younger brother, began to sense this urging, this calling to respond to this tragedy, to give back to the community where we live that's been so supportive, and to honor the memory of his brother and his sister-in-law, and do whatever it takes to prevent these senseless acts from happening to other families. And so he shared that vision with us. The rest of the family quickly caught that vision, and it spread to friends, it spread to the community, and it connected us to some incredible partners like those that are here today that we love, and we're glad to be part of partnering with them on trying to make a difference on our roads to keep people safe. Our mission is to engage in positive change that will reduce and prevent impaired driving and save lives. We're driving the Safe Driving Pledge, which you'll see over here. One of our displays is a QR code for the Safe Driving Pledge and the I Will Not Be Silent promise. At all the awareness, education, and program events we do, we're asking people to join us and take that pledge. That's how you can join the movement. That's one of the first things you can do, and we really want to drive that home. We're grateful to State Senator Adam Lowe. He is the one that championed Dillard's law that successfully passed through both of our houses and was signed by Governor Lee. This bill allows the surviving parent or guardian of a child whose parent was a victim of vehicular homicide to convert a restitution order for child maintenance payments or a civil judgment at any time rather than following the conclusion of a defendant's sentence. You might hear that and say, well, what does that really mean? In other words, let me try to break it down. At any time during or after a defendant's sentence, if his or her earnings or assets have changed, they are responsible to reimburse victims for any financial losses due to the offender's crime until the child or the children reach the age of 18. Now, I've known and I've been close friends with the Dillard family for more than 20 years. As Mark has shared, they are salt and earth people. I'm in awe of their strength of character. They love our community. They love their family. They love others. Matt and Terry are raising the 3 grandboys, and they are 3 incredible boys, but Matt is now going to come and share some closing remarks with you.
Thank you. I just want to, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, the Titan Stadium, for having us here. It's an honor. It's a privilege to be here. On Christmas 2022 at 5:52, this one, my wife got the notification on Live 360 that something tragic, or something had happened, abrupt stop to Brittany and Dustin's phone. And, the thing about that is, in that moment, we get to the scene, and we're there, and we get notified that they didn't make it at the scene. But, when I think back about that, the things that were happening when we actually got there, there was so much. I mean, I guess if you describe it as mad chaos somewhat, it was just everybody was working in unison. And we are so, so grateful. I know you've already been recognized for the first responders, because it's by your efforts and the grace of God that those 3 boys are still with us. I mean, you look at that car, and it's, you know, it's by God's grace. And we're so, so grateful for that. And you know, every day in life, choices matter. You know, the choices we make affect, not only, you have to understand, they affect us, but they affect everyone we come in contact with. And you know, you got the influence that we have. You know, we have to be, you know, mindful of that. You know, we just got asked earlier about Christmas this year. It was hard. Trust me, it was hard. Did we do anything different? No. Did we start? Yeah, well, we did after Christmas Day. We did go to Disney World and take the boys, which was a blessing, and thank God. Because, but to go back to where I was at with that is, you know, I think about what would Dustin and Brittany want us to do. And, you know, they would want us to go on. You know, it's a circumstance that we now live, but we choose on how we're going to deal with it. And, you know, to be a positive impact in everything that we do, and to give back to a community and, you know, and to this state for the things and the efforts that y'all have given to our family. It's just, you know, just to be a positive influence and to help stop this senseless act where you choose to get behind the wheel. You know, we want to choose, though, to come alongside everyone here to work to prevent this from happening to another family. You know, our family has been changed forever. But you know, you look at that picture right there. That's just a beautiful illustration of Dustin and Brittany. They lived. They loved. They laughed. And you know, the beautiful souls left an incredible mark on everyone that they touched. And you've heard that. You've heard that up here. But most importantly, they loved the Lord. And you know, Dustin, I just want to, Dustin was not only my son, he was my best friend. He was my accountability partner. The same can be said with Brittany and Terry. She was our daughter-in-law, her best friend, and her accountability partner. But Brittany, you know, you run across these people in life that they're passionate about what they do. And Brittany and Dustin both. Dustin worked for us in a company for years, for 25 years, with the company I worked for prior to this. And he was passionate about that. Brittany was passionate about Tanner tried to talk her out of teaching to come and work for the family business. And you know what her response was? My calling is to teach. My calling is to, you know, share with young adults. And that's what she did. And the thing about it was so incredible about the first meeting we had with Brittany's kids that Randy talked about was it wasn't that she loved her kids. They loved her. You know, you think about your teachers in school, all right? How many of them did you truly love? Okay? But that's the response. And here's the thing that's incredible is, you know, every day it seems like we hear of a different story of either the impact. I just heard one yesterday. Walked into a store, hadn't been in, and the young lady behind the counter started sharing about Brittany and the influence that she had on her life. So I just want to encourage you. You know, as we get busy in our everyday lives, you know, we tend to, you know, the things that really matter, where they go? they go on the back burner, right? A lot of times. I just want to encourage you though. You know, choices matter, but you matter. You matter. You matter to everybody that you come in contact with. And I once again want to thank you for everything. And listen, you know, buckle up, phone down, drive sober. And once again, in closing, our heart goes out to especially the first responders the night of the wreck. But we're here. And again, we want to walk alongside you to help stop impaired and distracted driving. Thank you.